Exploring the fascinating world of Averroes. Averroes, born in the vibrant city of Córdoba, Spain, in 1126, emerged as a towering figure of the medieval world. His genius spanned across multiple disciplines, including philosophy, medicine, and law, making him a true polymath. His intellect and contributions illuminated a path for future generations, leaving a legacy that transcends time. He was christened Abu al-Walid Muhammad ibn Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Rushd, a name that resonated through the corridors of Islamic and Western scholarship. His identity was deeply rooted in his heritage, yet his ideas and teachings broke cultural and geographical boundaries, showcasing the universality of his intellect. Renowned for his profound commentaries on Aristotle, Averroes bridged the gap between ancient Greek philosophy and the Islamic world. His meticulous analyses made Aristotle's complex theories accessible and understandable, enriching Islamic and later Western thought. Averroes' work laid the groundwork for a philosophical dialogue that spanned continents. Serving as a judge in Seville and later in Córdoba, Averroes demonstrated his profound understanding of Islamic law and society. His judicial role underscored his commitment to justice and the practical application of his vast knowledge, reinforcing his status as a respected figure in his community. Averroes also ventured into the realm of medicine, authoring a comprehensive medical encyclopedia known as the College. This work highlighted his versatility and dedication to improving human knowledge and welfare. Through this encyclopedia, Averroes contributed significantly to the field of medicine, blending his philosophical insights with practical healthcare advancements. Averroes, born in the intellectual hub of Córdoba, Spain, stirred the calm waters of Orthodox Islamic views with his philosophical writings. His audacious interpretations of religious and philosophical texts challenged prevailing norms, sparking controversies that resonated throughout the Islamic world. His bold stance on the integration of philosophy and religion was perceived as unconventional, leading to a temporary banishment from his homeland. Yet, Averroes' unwavering commitment to his beliefs underscored his pursuit of truth, regardless of the personal costs involved. Central to Averroes' philosophy was the conviction that religion and philosophy, rather than being at odds, complemented each other in the quest for truth. He argued that there could be no contradiction between two truths, advocating for a harmonious relationship between faith and reason. This perspective was revolutionary, suggesting that religious beliefs could withstand, and indeed benefit from, rigorous philosophical scrutiny. Averroes' work laid the groundwork for a more enlightened engagement with the divine, one that embraced questioning and intellectual exploration. In the Western world, Averroes earned the moniker, the commentator, due to his meticulous and insightful analyses of Aristotle's texts. His commentaries were not mere repetitions, but expansions that made Aristotle's complex thoughts accessible and relevant to the Islamic world. Through Averroes, Aristotle's philosophy found a new audience, bridging cultural and intellectual divides. This contribution was pivotal, as it facilitated a dialogue between Eastern and Western intellectual traditions, enriching both in the process. The influence of Averroes extended beyond the Islamic sphere, reaching the heart of Western philosophy. Thinkers such as Thomas Aquinas and Albertus Magnus were deeply influenced by his works, integrating Aristotelian philosophy into the Christian doctrine. This integration played a crucial role in the development of Western philosophy, particularly in the realms of metaphysics and ethics. Through his commentaries, Averroes inadvertently became a seminal figure in shaping the intellectual landscape of medieval Europe. Averroes' ideas also heralded the advent of the Renaissance, contributing significantly to the burgeoning movement of secular thought in Europe. His advocacy for the autonomy of philosophy and his challenge to literal interpretations of religious texts laid the intellectual groundwork for the Renaissance humanists. By promoting a culture of inquiry and emphasizing the importance of empirical observation, Averroes inspired a shift towards a more human-centered approach to knowledge and existence. His legacy, thus, extends far beyond the Islamic Golden Age, influencing the trajectory of European thought and contributing to the foundation of modern secularism. Averroes introduced a groundbreaking concept known as the unity of the intellect, suggesting an intriguing idea that all humans share a single, universal intellect. This notion challenged prevailing individualistic views of the mind and intellect, proposing instead a collective aspect to human understanding and consciousness that transcends individual boundaries. Despite his deep roots in Islamic culture, Averroes boldly argued for the autonomy of philosophy from theological constraints, advocating for a space where philosophical inquiry could proceed unencumbered by religious dogma. This stance positioned him as a progressive thinker, unafraid to explore the boundaries between faith and reason, even in the face of potential backlash. His legal works, deeply anchored in the Maliki school of Islamic jurisprudence, showcased his versatility and depth of knowledge. These writings not only contributed significantly to Islamic law but also found resonance in the Christian world, highlighting Averroes' unique ability to bridge diverse intellectual and cultural traditions. The Catholic Church, sensing a challenge to its doctrinal authority, listed some of Averroes' works in the Index Librorum Prohibitorum. This act of censorship underscored the controversial nature of his ideas, which, despite their innovative character, threatened the established religious order of the time. Averroes believed in a bidirectional influence between religion and philosophy, suggesting that each could enrich the other. This concept of mutual benefit pointed towards a harmonious coexistence that could lead to a deeper understanding of truth, reflecting his lifelong commitment to reconciling differences in pursuit of intellectual and spiritual enlightenment. Averroes, a thinker ahead of his time, encountered the wrath of the Catholic Church, which listed some of his works on the Index Librorum Prohibitorum. This prohibition underscored the perceived threat his ideas posed to established religious doctrines, emphasizing the tension between emerging philosophical perspectives and the guardians of orthodoxy. His concept of bidirectional influence proposed a harmonious relationship between religion and philosophy, suggesting that each could enrich the other. This idea was revolutionary, implying that spiritual beliefs could evolve through philosophical insights, a stance that challenged the rigid boundaries maintained by religious institutions. Averroes was also a pioneer in psychosomatic medicine, integrating the mind's influence over the body into his medical theories. His acknowledgement of the psyche's role in physical health foreshadowed modern holistic approaches to medicine, highlighting his innovative thinking in understanding human wellness. Remarkably, Averroes introduced the theory that the Earth rotates on its axis. This assertion was groundbreaking, positioning him centuries ahead of his contemporaries in the field of astronomy. His insights into planetary motion indicated a deep understanding of the cosmos, challenging prevailing Ptolemaic models. The philosophical disputes Averroes had with theologians underscore the medieval struggle between faith and reason. His arguments for the compatibility of religious beliefs with philosophical inquiry spotlighted the intellectual conflict of his time, marking him as a central figure in the enduring debate between faith and rational thought. In the historic city of Córdoba, the university proudly hosts a monument dedicated to Averroes, a testament to his enduring legacy in the realms of science and philosophy. This tribute stands as a symbol of recognition for the profound contributions he made, bridging ancient wisdom with the medieval intellectual quest. Averroes' influence extended far beyond the borders of his homeland, touching the lives of Jewish philosopher Maimonides and others who shared a deep respect for Aristotle. This connection underscored a unique intellectual kinship, fostering a cross-cultural exchange of ideas that enriched the philosophical landscapes of both the Islamic and Jewish worlds. Despite his vast contributions, Averroes faced significant backlash from his contemporaries. His forward-thinking ideas, particularly those challenging traditional viewpoints, led to periods of criticism and isolation. This hostility culminated towards the end of his life, marking a time of profound professional and personal struggle for the philosopher. Averroes championed the importance of empirical observation and experimentation in scientific inquiry. His approach laid the foundational principles of modern scientific methodology, emphasizing the critical role of direct observation and rigorous experimentation in understanding the natural world. His groundbreaking work laid the early stones for European Renaissance humanism, which blossomed centuries later. Averroes' commitment to empirical evidence and logical reasoning over blind faith or unquestioned tradition foreshadowed the humanist emphasis on individual agency and the inherent value of human experience and rationality. Averroes boldly argued against the literal interpretation of religious texts, advocating for an allegorical approach instead. By promoting a metaphorical understanding, he sought to bridge the gap between faith and reason, suggesting that the deeper truths of religion can be unveiled through philosophical inquiry. This stance put him at odds with traditionalists but illuminated the path for a more nuanced dialogue between science and spirituality. His discussions on existence and the essence of beings marked Averroes as a pioneering thinker, delving into metaphysical questions that have puzzled humanity for centuries. He explored the nature of reality and the substance of what truly exists, contributing significantly to the philosophical discourse on being and essence. These contributions laid foundational stones for future metaphysical explorations. Averroes' views on the immortality of the soul diverged sharply from Orthodox Islamic teachings. He engaged in heated debates, arguing for a philosophical understanding of the soul's eternity that clashed with conventional religious doctrines. This controversial stance highlighted his commitment to philosophical exploration, even at the cost of facing criticism from his contemporaries. The establishment of Averroism in medieval Europe signifies the profound impact Averroes had on European thought. This movement, named in his honor, embraced his philosophical principles, particularly his reconciliations between faith and reason. Averroism became a testament to his enduring influence, weaving his ideas into the fabric of European intellectual history. Averroes championed the belief that all humans can achieve intellectual perfection through philosophy and science. He saw these disciplines not as mere academic pursuits, but as pathways to understanding the world and achieving personal enlightenment. This optimistic view of human potential continues to inspire those who believe in the power of reason and the pursuit of knowledge. Averroes' attempts to reconcile Aristotelian philosophy with Islamic theology marked a significant intellectual endeavor during the Islamic Golden Age. His work sought to harmonize the rationality of Greek philosophy with the spiritual tenets of Islam, thus opening new avenues of thought. This bold approach illuminated the compatibility of faith and reason, inviting both scholars and theologians to explore the intersections between these two realms. In the realm of astronomy, Averroes critiqued and expanded upon Ptolemaic models, laying groundwork for future advancements. His insights into the workings of the universe challenged prevailing notions and encouraged a more empirical approach to understanding celestial phenomena. This critical stance not only advanced Islamic astronomy but also set the stage for broader scientific explorations in Renaissance Europe. Ethics under Averroes' scrutiny was approached through an Aristotelian lens, where virtue was discussed in the context of reason and the good life. His exploration of ethical principles emphasized the role of rationality in achieving moral excellence. This perspective enriched the philosophical discourse on ethics, bridging Aristotelian ideals with Islamic moral philosophy. Averroes' impact on the Islamic world was complex and multifaceted. While some viewed him as a visionary, others branded him a heretic for his unconventional views. This polarized reception underscored the tension between traditionalist and rationalist approaches in Islamic thought. Despite the controversy, Averroes' intellectual contributions continued to stimulate debate and reflection. Initially celebrated more in Europe than in his own cultural sphere, Averroes' works highlight the philosophical divide between East and West. His legacy in Europe, particularly through the Latin translations of his commentaries, underscores the universal appeal of his ideas. This East-West divide in reception also illustrates the varying contexts and interpretations of philosophical inquiry across cultures. Averroes' reception in the Islamic world was quite different from the admiration he garnered in Europe. While his work sparked intellectual revolutions in the West, his ideas were met with skepticism and even resistance in his homeland. This dichotomy underscores the complex interplay between cultural contexts and the acceptance of philosophical ideas. His belief that science and religion could coexist harmoniously remains a pertinent discussion in modern times. Averroes argued that the pursuit of scientific knowledge and a deep faith were not mutually exclusive but could, in fact, enrich one another. This perspective offers a valuable lens through which contemporary debates on the subject can be viewed. Averroes was ahead of his time in encouraging critical thinking and the questioning of established norms. His approach challenged traditional views and laid the groundwork for a more inquisitive and analytical examination of the world. His legacy endures as a testament to the power of intellectual courage and curiosity. Despite facing considerable opposition, Averroes never wavered in his philosophical pursuits. His dedication to exploring complex questions and seeking truth, regardless of the personal cost, exemplifies the unwavering commitment to inquiry that defines great thinkers. His resilience in the face of adversity remains inspiring. Today, Averroes stands as a monumental figure bridging Eastern and Western intellectual traditions. His work transcends cultural and temporal boundaries, highlighting the universal nature of the quest for knowledge and understanding. Averroes exemplifies how ideas can connect diverse worlds, showcasing the enduring relevance and appeal of his philosophical contributions.